Here it's like red. I even wore red, but this is like my uniform red. But I said, hey, let me put it on. I got Gigi in the house. What's up, Gigi?
Hey, Dan, what's going on? Happy Valentine's Day to
Hey.
everybody listening today.
Yes. Bring you up to the mic so they can hear your beautiful voice. So, yes. Glenn's saying that you're pretty.
Thank you, Glenn.
Look
Happy
at Glenn.
Valentine's Day.
Look, Glenn even got on red. What's up, Glenn? You got that red, you got that candy over there.
I know, right?
Yes, this is a red party. Wow, I'm so excited. Community Matters is brought to you by the law offices of Sean R.H. Smith. Sean he had surgery today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a torn meniscus. He thought he was like, sports, we had this football stuff going on. Yes, he plays football, but the European style, soccer,
Okay.
So he got
Listen, soccer is the real football, according to a lot of people, including my son.
That's okay. All
now,
right, you're right.
Was he one of those men that waited too long to actually get it fixed?
You know what? Wow. We talked about this a long time ago, and he he waited and waited. So now he had to go in, get it repaired. So we give a shout out to Sean R.H. Smith. Wherever you are, I know you're recovering, and we got you in our prayers and thoughts. So that's a good thing.
Feel better, Sean. Quick recovery.
Yes. So what's up, Gigi? It's been a minute. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy 2023. We're looking for an abundant year, right?
Yes.
Abundant, healthy, physically, mentally, everything just kind of coming together.
Yeah. Last time you were here, you were like, you had somebody that was on a farm, and they was, raising chickens and corn. And
You all remember
cabbage.
Andre the farmer?
Yes.
He's still doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So you look like you've been
Bananas.
eating his products.
I hope that means I look healthy.
Exactly. You do. You look good. All right. Yes.
Andre the farmer is still going strong. He's still trying to get to his millionth follower.
Wow.
So everybody needs to follow him on TikTok and Instagram, Andre the farmer.
Okay.
He's doing good stuff. And he's working with a lot of communities.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
building
he was
community
very
gardens.
community minded. Wow.
With the students, letting young people know that they can actually create their own food and they can eat healthy, that there's alternatives to what's out there on the street.
Yes, I like that. I'm getting healthier. I put myself on a 21-day challenge. Right, Glenn? That was starting like about 3 shows ago. So it hasn't been 21 days yet, or we got one more week? Okay, yeah, we got one more week. But
So
I'm
what
trying.
exactly is the 21-day challenge?
Ooh, what's the 21-day challenge? That's a test. That's a pop test question. Well, the 21-day challenge for me is exercising,
Okay.
drinking more water,
Nice.
trying to get more rest, and reading more. I'm just a book junkie.
Okay.
I'll see a subject, I see a topic, and I'll buy the book.
Gotcha. You
But-
have to dig deeper
dig
into
deep-
it. is
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying.
see, here's the thing. It takes me a minute to get to those books, so I got all these books stacked up.
Understood. I'm the same
know.
way. Even I have the ebooks
Yeah.
that I thought would make it easier,
Uh-huh.
and I still have like a whole queue of books that I'm waiting to
Wow.
read, including Michelle Obama's new book. So
Oh,
they're all
I
in
got
there.
that.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's like, so I've challenged myself to start these books and just go at it. And I bought this little attachment that has a light to it that you clip onto your book.
Mm-hmm.
So like at night, I'm not disturbing anybody. My wife, she's like, turn that light off. So I
Right.
got this nice light right there. Turn it on, and it's just me and my book. Usually I just stay up and watch some cowboy movies, and I, watch that and MSNBC and Rachel Maddow and all that. But you don't want to hear about that. But anyway,
No, it's okay. But I
it's-
like your 21-day challenge.
exactly.
And you're doing well with it. You're doing
Yes, I
good.
am.
Very
I am.
nice.
I am.
So they say, how many days does it take to make a habit?
21.
21 days. Perfect. So after this is just going to become a normal for you.
That's the point. Glenn, ain't that the point? And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try to report back to our listeners. So keep me in prayer, Orlando,
It
my
does
community.
Take prayer.
Yes.
And to have
Yes.
to make that positive change
Yeah.
requires prayer and persistency. Trust me.
It's
I'm on the
hard.
same boat. I'm trying, but I'm not as disciplined as you are, but I'm working
Well,
on
hey,
it.
I'm trying. That's why I'm challenging myself. I fall, but But I'm not going to fall and say, okay, I got to start out my 21-day challenge every time I mess up. I'm not going to say, okay, I got to do it 21 days straight. Every time I mess up. No, I ain't going to do that because I'll never complete it.
Well, it's like the song. We fall down and then we get up.
That's right.
The whole
That's
point is to
right.
make sure that you keep getting up.
Oh, listen to that. Gigi
Feel
got
that?
some
You feel
nuggets.
that? Right.
Some nice
Right.
nuggets of advice. I'm so glad you're here on the Urban Empowerment and Inspiration. You're giving us some inspiration.
Hey, always a pleasure. I'm trying to keep pace with you. I was reading something the other day that said start out with a goal of 30 days or 30 minutes of exercise or 30 minutes of activity a day. So if you go out and walk for 30 minutes and you feel like walking for 45 or you feel like walking for 60, keep walking.
Wow.
But at least commit to doing 30. So I think I hit that 3 days this week.
Oh,
so I'll try to do better next week.
Wow. Well, you're encouraging me. So yeah, let's see if we're, let's have that accountability partner. I'll
Sounds
text
good.
you and say, hey, did you do it? You say,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, deal. Yes, that does work. Because if I know somebody else is counting on me to do something, then that makes me want to be there.
Okay.
So it's about having somebody to make sure that you are hitting your goals.
Awesome. I like that. Wow. We got some special guests in the house that I would say you brought. Wow.
Well, it's Black History Month, so if we're going to do it, we have to do it right. So I appreciated you having me on the show for Black History Month, and I said there's only one person I can think of that can come and help us to celebrate it and to acknowledge it and to share with your listeners why it's important that we understand it.
Well, we're going to listen to a song, and then after we listen to this inspirational song, we're going to come back and have a special guest in the house.
Sounds good, Dan.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising
sun of our new day begun. Let us march on. Let us march on till victory is won. Victory is won.
Hey, y'all, this is Inspiration 1680, FM 100.7, South Orlando and Kissimmee.
Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando is the only black-owned Mercedes-Benz dealership in Central Florida, supporting and donating to more organizations and causes in the community than any other dealership in Orlando. Support the dealership that have supported you. Call me, Robert Coleman, at 407-735-1281. That's 407-735-1281. I guarantee you will be treated like a VIP and nothing less across from the mall at Millennium.
Hey, y'all, this is Inspiration 1680, FM 100.7, South Orlando and Kissimmee.
All right. We're back here in the studios here at WOKB 1680 and 100.7 FM. And we are here with a special Black History guest, the mayor.
Mayor Jerry Demings,
Jay
Orange County
Demings.
Government.
Yes.
Welcome to the table.
Yes,
The
you're
hot
here
topic
on. Yes.
table.
Well,
Yes.
happy Valentine's, everybody.
Yes, you are here on Community Matters, and it is an honor and a privilege to have you here. We are so blessed that your schedule worked things out that you get a call and you can do it. We were trying to get you last year and just your schedule, but praise the Lord, you're here. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I'm here. Praise the Lord. Got in not too long ago from Washington, D.C., and made it back here. Today is a good day in my household. We celebrate Valentine's Day, but my oldest sons, they're twins, and today is their birthday.
Oh, wow.
That's okay.
Wow.
Happy
Shout out
birthday.
to
So it's a
Antoine and
really
Antonio.
Yes.
Happy birthday, sons.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, a lot of love in the house.
So today you all have a party.
Well, they having parties. You know, they reached the age where they didn't want to really hang out with mom and dad on Valentine's Day. They want to hang out with their wives and significant others.
Now, do you do the whole thing? The roses, the dinner, the everything? You've been married a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
I like that. A very good answer. You can tell. I'm gonna say he's a politician, but yeah, I'm gonna do that.
He's
That
gonna have
was perfect.
to do that. Well, Glenn and I were talking, and he was saying that sometimes the best prices and the best roses you can find later in the day. Is that true?
I don't know.
You're about to find
I
out.
go to the same place, and they usually take good care of me.
Praise the Lord on that. Yes.
They know. They hold one aside for him. They say we know Mayor
they
Davis
do
is
it,
coming.
Wow. So, Gigi, what's on your heart for the mayor this morning?
Oh, I want to talk about Black History Month. So Black History Month, the theme this year, because every year there's a theme, the theme this year is resistance, but it's a journey to equality. So a lot of people hear the word resistance and it has a negative connotation. They may think that we're talking about violently resisting. And there's so many other ways that citizens in the community can resist by participating, by advocating, by voting. So I wanted to find out what does Black History Month mean to you? Why is it still significant so many years after the Civil Rights Act was passed in '64? Like, why are we still celebrating Black History Month for those people that don't understand it?
Good question.
It is a good question. I think sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same. And, the battle, the struggle is still real. I'm what you may call an innovative disruptor.
Oh, wow. Let me write that down.
In terms of resistance, there are a lot of things that we made a lot of progress, but there are still forces at work that's trying to turn back the hands of time every single day. And sadly, in our community, we're still celebrating first. I happen to be serving right now as the Orange County mayor, and I'm the first African American to serve in that role. And over the 42-year career that I've had of public service, each one of the most significant roles that I've served in, I was the first.
Wow.
And, in our lifetime, we're still celebrating first. So the struggle is still there. And as we celebrate Black History Month, we do so on the shoulders of our ancestors and those who have fought for the opportunities that we have today. And Dr. King has been gone now for quite some time, but his life and legacy still lives on. And here in Orange County, we have something called the MLK Initiative, in which we really celebrate Black achievement every day of the year, not just around Dr. King's birthday, around the time of his death, but every day, where we're intentional about doing some things to make sure that we fill the void, the gap of equality that still exists. And when we talk about inclusion, there is resistance to diversity, equity, and inclusion from high places.
Wow.
And, so we can talk about that a little bit. I know we don't have a whole lot of time today to get to the meat of it, but what I want our people to know is the struggle is still alive, and there are people resisting the change. But if we don't really come to the table and put aside our petty differences, we will not be able to unify around this concept of working collaboratively to bring about the change that's needed.
Like right after George Floyd, it seemed like there was a big movement to have this talk, to have this conversation about diversity and inclusion. And, then they were implementing that all over the place. They were just opening the doors and seemed like they understood. But I don't know what happened. It seems like it's like, oh, okay, the door is open now. Let's start to close it so we don't need to address it any more like that. I don't know what happened where it was open, but now it seemed like it just kind of closed and not wanted to talk about it.
Well, this is a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. I think all of those civil rights legends that have been before us and those of the modern era, they all will tell you that this isn't a fight that you're going to be involved in just for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of demonstrations. It's a lifetime commitment. And because when we talk about change, people who look different than perhaps those of us who are of color, they're threatened by the change. They feel that they're going to be losing something. And in the words of Dr. King, he said that power is never voluntarily given to the oppressed. They've had to fight for it. And I think when you see people who ascend into various positions of notoriety within our society, there are those who may look different, who are threatened by that. They feel that they're losing something as opposed to they're gaining something. So as America becomes much more of a melting pot, you hear and you see the conversation about immigration and the desire to slow down the immigration into our country, particularly from those places where it's black or brown people who are coming in. And then I would say even within the black or browns coming in, is still a selection. If you come from certain places, and we'll let you in. If you come from other places, we're going to slow it down. We're going to make it difficult for you to come into our country because of the fear that they'll lose their dominance. The majority will become the minority. And so whenever you hear conversations about, for example, the Orange County Public School District, probably 30 years ago, it was predicted that within the next 30 years, our school district will become majority minority. Well, that's the school district that we have today. And we began to see such things as white flight from the public school district, where they were not only going into parochial schools, but they were beginning to send their children away to boarding school. Where there's this segregation according to your family wealth. And if you can afford to be in the boarding school, then okay, we'll let you in here. But our public school systems have continued to struggle, and that's something that we all have to kind of resist. Since we're talking about resistance, we want to make sure that we have an equal playing field. From the early education, early learning, all the way through secondary and into higher education. We want to make certain that we have a seat at the table so that we're well prepared for whatever the future may bring to all of us.
I just have to say, I've always been an admirer of you. And just as I've seen you progress, the progression of your success and how God has been with you every step of the way. And, I've just been amazed how you've been able to walk across the aisle in including and talking to everyone. You're comfortable at a country function, a yeehaw function. I've seen them just like, in the hood. And, I have to, I guess I admire, there has to be something that from your upbringing. You know, your dad, our condolences. 100 years old, passed away. I mean, what was it that you look past color, but you saw the potential in people, and you saw that community and unity unites and empowers people?
Yeah, I'm a product of my heritage and my environment. My father passed about 2 weeks ago, and he was 100 years old, 4 months and 13 days. And he was born in rural Alabama on a farm, and came here in 1939 as a very young man, and started a new life here. My mother is from North Florida, blue-collar worker. She grew up on what they call the Glades in Gaston County, which was sharecroppers' land that they lived on. And because of those two poor people who came here, who raised a family to make certain that their children had the opportunity to go to school and get a good education, I'm able to sit where I'm sitting today. I'm the great grandson of slaves, and so I like to say that it didn't start out with the education. It started out with a struggle in life, but because of faith, my mother made sure that we had some faith. My father always was working hard. He worked 7 days a week. Wow. Hustling, doing various things to make money for the family. So that took him away from the day-to-day activities of fatherhood. But for my mother, who was really the person who was always there in the household, I understood it. Dad was trying to hustle to make money. Mom made certain that we developed into good human beings, through the discipline that she forced upon us. But today, what a blessing it is to go from growing up poor in West Orlando to where I am today. While I'm no longer poor, I would say, I'm not wealthy. You see these multi-billionaires, but I feel that it's not all about the money. I'm wealthy in other ways because I have the opportunity to have influence in the lives of the people who live here in ways that they probably don't even understand. And so I realize that this is a long-term game for me, and in order to have the kind of influence, it requires strategy. And, it's like playing a card game. I hold my cards close to my chest, and I know how to play the game to be able to make certain that, while I'm sitting in these various roles, I've had the opportunity to appoint black and brown people, men and women, into positions, and they were the first. Admiral Brewer, David Brewer, from here, he has this saying that at some point in life, he stopped wanting to climb the ladder, and he became a ladder builder.
Ooh,
today I'm no longer trying to climb the ladder. Yes. I'm a ladder builder. So the reason why I feel that I'm in the position that I am today is to create the opportunities for other people to be able to climb the ladder. But I want to make them ladder builders.
Wow.
So that they create the opportunities for others behind them to do the same. And so that's the end game that we're after here. And it's a long-term game, and so I do celebrate Gigi Mormon with her 10-year anniversary coming up.
All right.
Of building unity in our community, and so we celebrate her and what she's accomplished, and what she will accomplish in the future as well, by bringing all people together and creating these entrepreneurial opportunities and creative thinking opportunities for minorities here within our community. So I applaud you, Gigi. You know,
yes,
you do
Gigi, you're part of
job.
Black History.
She's
Let's
Black
get
history
that
in the making.
applause.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And that was a great segue because I have admired you for so many years because you have created seats at the table. People talk about what they're going to do, and they make false promises, but there are actually people who do what they say what they mean, and that follow through on their word. And that has always been your status quo. That has always been the person that you are, whether it was as the police chief, as the sheriff, as the mayor, as a father, as a husband. And so you touched upon it a little bit. A lot of people are saying that the Black family is broken. And I disagree with that as a whole. I never think you can say all Black families are broken or all Haitian people are this way or that way, you know, generalizing things. But I think that your family is a great example of the Black family not being broken but being solid. I was honored to be at the celebration of life for Mr. Demings, and every testimony, every person that came up to talk about him was just talking about how he made their life better. And what you saw was legacy being brought down.
So he was a ladder.
He was a ladder builder. And I think sometimes that our older generation don't understand that they are opening doors for us with the things that they do. So his relationship with Mears, working there for 35 years, that exposure that you had to what he was doing, to his commitment, he was creating spaces for his children to see things that he didn't see when he was growing up. So when you think about it, what legacy are you leaving for your children? What lessons are you trying to teach them as a part of that family and keeping that Demings name going?
It's all about, for my family, Black excellence. You know, we want our children and our grandchildren to be the best that they can be. You know, and that requires some sacrifice, and we are training them to be self-reliant in a self-indulgent world. And
say that again.
I know that's a sermon right there.
To be self-reliant in a self-indulgent world.
Wow.
Yes, there's a book by that same title. So you know that is the legacy we're trying to build, and you know we have many in our family who have achieved. We have some who still struggle. We have some who borderline homeless that require a lot of help. So we have some who have their doctorate degrees and they're doing really well. We have some who are middle income earners to high income earners. So we're like every other family, I would say, particularly Black families, we have a little bit of all of it. And I struggle to make certain that I don't lose my sensitivity to what it is to be Black in America, and to struggle, and also to be without struggle. We have a moral responsibility to help other people in the process, and sometimes I think that you know when the enemy gets busy, the enemy tries to destroy and tries to create subterfuge and confusion and conflict within our community, but I stay focused. You know, an AME preacher once told me, a female, you know, one of the few female preachers in the bishops in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Bishop Gidress, she said, in life, pray first, aim high, and stay focused. And so that's the advice I give a lot of young people. Pray first, aim high, and stay focused. And so that's what we say to our children. You know, we couldn't get where we are without a lot of faith over time. You know, our forefathers and mothers who were enslaved in this country. They had, even in the depth of their misery, they had faith that one day, they would be freed, that they would enjoy the American dream, that sometimes I think people want to turn the clock, the hands of the clock back. Right. And, I won't make it political today. I could make it political and talk about the politics that's happening today, but I won't do that, because sometimes I think that that creates a distraction, and as opposed to staying focused on what we're trying to do. Yes. Those words of Bishop Guidry, it was stay focused. Stay focused. And so for me, that's kind of the way I approach things, with a certain calmness, a certain intentional way that I go about doing things, and while sometimes I'm transparent with what I do, sometimes I'm not, because if they know every move you're going to make, they know how to play against you. That's right. Yep. And so for me, it's a lot of what I do is behind the scenes, where I'm always negotiating and advocating and creating the circumstances by working across the spectrum. And I dare say that, I love our black people, and what that means. But we, as a race of people, can't do everything that we need to do if we don't also be inclusive and work with white people, or people who do not look like us, because I see some good, we couldn't, there's some good white people who gave me opportunities where, sadly, I have to say, there were some black people didn't. And
sad to say this, too.
it does happen, but I stayed focused and said, okay. So we're here to work with this future generation. At this point, my tenure. This would be my final term as Orange County Mayor. So
say it ain't so. That can't be.
We have term limits.
We need to change that law.
Yeah,
and I'm okay, but I want to be able to have an efficient transfer of that influence to the next generation. I want to entrust that in the hands of people who can handle it. Some of us want to be in positions of influence, and for all the wrong reasons. They want the notoriety of it. They don't want to do the work day
the
by
gold
day.
Star people.
And so we want the right people moving in. Now you need people in terms of the strategy, to be able to address it from different perspectives, to be loud and boisterous. At times, it's situational for me. Sometimes I can be loud, I can be boisterous, I can be very direct. I've been involved in protests, civil protests that was nonviolent for decades now.
Wow.
And doing what I do, how I do it, and that has given me this opportunity to be where I am today. And so we need others, who may do it differently. We all have a role to play, and just know what your role is and what the focus is. So this show, coming in here to WOKB, black radio station, is pretty phenomenal. I go on all of them. I go on
any place where you can share your message.
Anywhere I can share the message. And they invite me. I've been in some places where people didn't think I would go, but I have gone there. And as you said, I can go in any crowd and feel comfortable being there, because I know why I'm doing it. So
can I ask a last question?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, good. As you wrap up this last term, how can we help you? How can we help to resist?
Yes.
How can we help to advocate? What do you need from the community in terms of support?
We need a nonviolent direct action. You know, in the words of Dr. King, we need direct action. That direct action translates into volunteering to serve on boards, etc. And within the county, I have the ability to appoint people to various volunteer boards that help to shape public policy for us. You know, I look forward to more people of color applying to those positions, and while I'm there, you know, I promise you I will appoint people who are there for the right reasons. And so, you know, after being a law enforcement officer for 38 years, I'm a pretty good judge of people and character. I can see people who are not authentic. I want authentic people who are humble, who have humility, who want to do the work and not necessarily get the pat on the back to be in these positions. And, you know, so I see what I see because of this wisdom that I've gained over the last 4+ decades of public service. So that's what I would say. During this period of time, I want to level the playing field for minorities, women-owned businesses to get a piece of the multi-billion-dollar budget that we have in Orange County. We want you to do business with us. We want your businesses to, we want you to start businesses and grow your businesses and keep your businesses here in the area during that process, because this concept of building broad-based prosperity is what will ultimately level the playing field economically for us for the long-term gain. We have to own something.
You're right.
And we have to support our Black-owned businesses. And so in different ways, you know, I'm creating the opportunity for our Black-owned businesses to do business with our county and to get a piece of the pie. We're going to be diversifying our economy. We'll travel to some other countries to get commerce coming in. We want you to be a part of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it.
Love the message.
Yeah.
We love the man. We're going to continue to pray for you. We pray that God will continue to give you the wisdom of Solomon, which you already demonstrate every time you're in the office, to just continue to be a blessing to Orlando and the community. Thank you, Mayor Demings.
Thank you very
Mayor
much.
Demings. Keep doing what you're doing.
We will.
You know, we're going to hear a song and we're going to come back on the flip side with another guest. All right.
Hang on in there, just hang on in there.
All right, I'm gonna need a little help. Cardi, come here, man.
I'm gonna help you right here.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I know it looks hard right now.
Yeah.
But God will make a way somehow. Oh, Lord. Don't give up, my friend. Please don't give up. Stay strong till the end. be strong and hear me, yeah. Hang on, and it won't be long. Gonna get. Hey, girl, mama, don't you cry. It's gotta get better. It's gonna wipe your weeping eyes. It's gotta get. Oh, I'm so glad it don't last always. It's gonna get. You just wait and see. No need worrying. You might as well leave it alone.
Might as well. Marijuana. Music City. Come on, KB.
I know you may be crying, but just keep on trying.
All right. We're back on Community Matters here. And this has just been a busy, happy Valentine's Day. You know, the house. We've been partying up here. Glenn holding it down with all them nice jams and hits, you know. So, Gigi, what's happening?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a great way for me to spend Valentine's Day, because I'm single. So it's nice to be in a space where
You're single and you want to mingle?
Well, I'm always mingling.
You're right.
Glenn was asking about that Valentine's stuff. I said, I'm very selective.
That's right.
And I don't know if you experienced this, Jasmine, or you're engaged. Okay,
Married.
good. But congratulations. A lot of single women experience an issue where men are intimidated by their strength. And so that's my issue. As I have a lot of people that get intimidated and will make conversation but not necessarily make a first move and ask me out, and I'm old-fashioned, so
Really?
I do prefer that the gentleman ask me out.
So it's a myth that just all the men are knocking down the door trying to, take you out.
That's definitely a myth. And then the second part of that is that I'm big on chemistry. I'm very, very big on chemistry, since we're on Valentine's Day today. Very big on chemistry, and I know what I want and what I don't want. And when I find it, when the Lord brings them to me, then we'll be together. Until then, I'll continue to serve the community.
That's right.
I'll continue to have fun with my family and my friends. And so I did want to shout out a couple of organizations, since this is Community Matters.
Shout it out.
And there's so many small organizations and local people that are doing great work.
Yes.
So there is, I think it's the first time that it's taken place, but it's called Youthful Expressions. And it's a presentation by the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida. And it is youth art that's being exhibited and being auctioned off. So this auction is open until January 25th. So I want people to look at the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida and check out the auction, because it's our kids that are using their artistic skills to communicate to us with their art pieces. And we have to support them by purchasing some of these pieces. So thank you to the Boys and Girls Club for doing that. So it's ongoing now.
Okay.
But the online auction ends January 25th. And I will send Glenn the website. To share with everybody, so we can we can support our youth, because ladder building is multi-generational.
Yes,
we were talking about ladder builders.
Yes,
with
that's
Mayor
part
Demmons.
of my vernacular now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Building.
When Vice Admiral David Brewer created that phrase, it impacted my life so much, because you don't want to be that ladder climber. Ladder climbers may make it to the next spot. They may make it to the second next level, but when they get into a situation where they're in trouble and they need somebody to help them, most likely people are not going to have their back, because they stepped on them to get to where they got. So you don't want to be a ladder climber. Vice Admiral David Brewer says you want to be a ladder builder. Create the seats at the table for other people. Make sure that the voices are all being heard. Make sure that we're taking care of our mental health. So in taking care of our mental health, there's an event that's taking place in April. It is called Teach Me How to Heal. And Shelley Fanfan is a licensed mental therapist that is going to host a day of helping you how to heal. There's going to be holistic. Oh, we love Shelley. Shelley's so amazing. But she's finally bringing together like the people in her circle that are helping to heal people, reframe your life. It's called the Reframe Conference. And I want people to connect with that and see, how they can take that first step to making their lives better for 2023 and beyond.
Now, when is that?
So that's taking place on April 15th.
Okay.
And they can go to AskShelly.com for information on that event.
That's really easy to remember.
Yes.
AskShelly.com.
And it's SCHELLIE.com.
Okay.
Okay. And then we want people to have fun. So I wanted to shout out Zita and her team, who are putting on their, I want to say it's the 3rd or 4th annual Apopka International Jazz Festival.
Oh, wow. I love me some jazz.
So in our backyard, we have artists that are coming out. I believe it's Peebo Bryson, Kim Waters. So, and it's a beautiful amphitheater for nobody that's been there.
That's actually almost in my backyard.
Okay, then you definitely have to go.
I could walk to that park.
You should walk over. That's the exercise. You talked earlier about that 21-day habit and making sure that your physical fitness is part of what you're doing.
I hear you.
But for me, my mental health has a lot to do with music.
Yes.
And music really calms me. It can energize me. If I need to get pumped up, I know what songs to play, like Jay-Z from Brooklyn. I got to play some Brooklyn songs to get me pumped up. Or if I'm in a bad space, I need to throw in some gospel.
Yeah.
I need to hear some Yolanda Adams. So music is food for your soul.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we're taking care of all parts of our psyche.
So are you emceeing this?
I am not emceeing that. I'm actually going to an event that night. It's the 25th anniversary of the African American Women's History Month Project.
Wow.
And they are honoring, I want to say, 20 or 25 local women, including myself, who are doing some things in the community to help move the needle.
Okay,
to
where's
help
that
create
at?
more equality. That is going to take place at the Lakeshore Ocoee Center.
Okay.
And that date is March 25th. So it's the same day as the Jazz Festival. So you could either choose to go to jazz or you could choose to go to a sit-down event, either one. We're supporting Black-owned businesses is the key. You know, that's something that we've done for the last 10 or 12 years, is really try to support our local small businesses, especially our minority-owned businesses, our female-owned businesses. A lot of those companies don't have money for marketing.
No.
But we can do things to help them market what they're doing because we have a following. We have people that trust that if we say this person is doing something, that they can go there and that they're going to be in good hands. Yeah. And that's important.
It is.
A lot of our small businesses crash and burn because they're not consistent with their service. They're not consistent with their with the quality of what they're producing. If we can hit those nails, hit the hammer with the nail, then you'll be good. And you'll build that consistency, which will lead to your success. Wow. Mayor Demings was here. He didn't get to be all of those first ceiling breakers because his consistency wasn't there, because the quality of his work wasn't there, because they didn't trust what he said and what he did. So if we can follow those models that have been set forth from our ancestors, then we can accomplish anything together as a collaborative effort. And that's one of the reasons I wanted Jasmine to come on. So Jasmine Burney Clark is here, and she's founder of Equal Ground Education Fund and Action Fund, which is a Black-led, community-centered civic engagement organization prioritizing voter registration, education, and turnout. And I want to make sure I read it properly.
Thank you.
Because that's so important. Our community doesn't understand the power of their voice, and they don't understand the power of their vote. So when you see somebody is leading in the polls and you say, oh, I don't need to go and vote because they're doing well. No, they're not doing well until they win.
That's it.
That's right.
So talk to us about why you founded this organization, because you've been in politics for a long time. You've helped other people to fulfill their agendas and to get policies passed. But now you're taking that front runner role.
Certainly. So I have been a Orlando resident lifelong. My entire life, I've worked in Florida politics for 13 years now. And one of the things that I noticed about working in Florida politics is that we have a lot of white-led, black-labored organizations and institutions in this state.
Say that again.
A lot of entities are choosing to rent blackness instead of engaging and investing in blackness.
Ooh, rent blackness.
Yes.
Okay, see, we're about to throw some
Wow.
I try not to start
lots
off
of
that
nuggets.
heavy,
No,
but
lots of
hey.
nuggets
Go
of
for it.
knowledge. Let's
Community
Yes.
matters.
That's-
Yes.
What you're
educate
saying matters.
us. Educate
That's
us
right.
because that education is empowerment.
It's important. And I was the executive director of a statewide organization where there were 50 nonprofit organizations. We helped to coordinate their civic engagement plans, and there was not a single black-led entity there. And I could not be a black woman leading in that space and there not be representation of black people leading. And so oftentimes there is a litmus test that we have to pass where can they be trusted with the funding? Can they meet the metrics?
Right.
Can they do the things you were just talking about and still remain in existence for as long as your NAACP UP or your urban league.
I'm ready to march now. You know what the mayor just said. I'm ready. Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out now. You just energized me. I'm ready. Come on now. Come on now. You bringing it.
And to simplify it, my organization exists because we want to both help expand the voting rights of Black Floridians, but also protect their rights to be able to vote. We were founded in 2019, just a few months after rights restoration passed in the state of Florida. And so we had the passage of rights restoration for returning citizens or former felons in this state.
Which impacted how many people?
1.8 million Floridians in the state of Florida. And if we think about the impact beyond Florida, there are millions of people across the state who are going to use the model that was used in Florida to make sure rights restoration passes for people across this nation. And I thought about the fact that our legislature went into legislative session just 2 months after that passage and decided to implement a law that would set back that particular law, and that is to require fees and fines to get paid before you can actually receive that right to be able to vote.
Which was like what it was back in the day if you wanted to vote. When the first Black people wanted to vote, they actually had to pay a tax, and if you didn't have the money to pay the tax, you couldn't vote. So how are we going backwards many decades in time?
I'm ready to march again. Come on.
And that's the thing. It's cyclical. We've seen this before. History is repeating itself. What we're seeing is nothing new. We're just experiencing it for the first time. And
it's interesting you're talking about history. And there, you have the CRT. They're trying to pass all these anti-woke, whatever woke means. It's so it's like they're trying to hide our history so we don't have to know our history.
Correct. It's what wokeness means to white supremacists. And for a governor like ours to create a law that is the Anti-Woke Act means that you are signaling directly to people of color, Black folks specifically, that we don't see your humanity and we don't want to see your humanity. We don't want to agree with your culture. We don't want to acknowledge your culture. We don't want to acknowledge your contributions. But we also don't want to feel bad for the fact that our ancestors created 400 years of oppression. So we're going to completely erase your history so we don't have to acknowledge ours.
Our ancestors also created a lot of wealth in the United States
too. They
as our community still does.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. The black money is circulating within the outside of the Black community very often.
So I'm just thinking about what you're saying. I'm tying that to that. They want to rent our community.
Rent Blackness.
Rent Blackness.
Yes. That's exactly it.
So how do we get those 1.8 million people who had their rights restored? How do we help them to actually vote? Because if even a small percentage of those people voted, you could have had like an Andrew Gillum in that spot.
Yep. Andrew Gillum lost by 30,000 votes to Ron DeSantis. And so an organization like Equal Ground comes in and does the hard work of helping to protect those voting rights. And so there was a law created in 2021 called Senate Bill 90 that outlawed and criminalized the ability to hand out food and water to people at polling places. It limited the use of drop boxes at polling places, and it just made it completely difficult to vote by mail by requiring new ID requirements. And so we sued the state of Florida. And we continue to sue the state of Florida because our courts should be our last line of defense in these sorts of situations. But voting should also be a tool that is in our toolbox. It is not going to save us, but it is a tool that is one that is the most accessible and the one that can be measured in our community. So we try to talk to folks, both returning citizens and beyond, about what their options are in an upcoming election, not only about candidates, but about the issues, because they receive their right based on an issue that was placed on the ballot, not because of a particular politician. And so it is greater than people. It is about your entire ability to have political power, and that includes both people and policies.
I love how the Orange County Black Democratic Caucus has a vote the whole ballot program
all the way down.
that they make sure that they publicize and that they distribute so that everybody understands what the issues are that are on the ballot. And if you're not sure how to vote, we've done the work. We know what is good and what is not good in terms of for the benefit of the collective good. And we're recommending that you vote this way.
Correct.
So what other ways, because I think the normal, everyday, average citizen doesn't really know how they can move the needle.
Yeah. Again, I point back to the fact that it is the one thing that can be actually measured in numbers. You know at the end of the day who wins and who loses. It is very factual. and it is very matter of fact. And we don't have to worry about there being any sort of confusion about what is reality when it comes to elections, because the numbers don't lie. But I will also say, take a look around at how your life is being operated and what you are being impacted by. Our mayor is the closest thing to a presidential sort of type of candidate you will get close to or next to, which means that the further down the ballot you go, the closer to community you should take a look at your ballot and think about it. As you go down that ballot and you flip it over, that means that those are the deepest, most impactful issues that are going to have direct impacts on your life. So I'd even encourage folks to start their ballot from the bottom up and then flip your ballot over, because if you're starting from the bottom up, that means you're talking directly to people who you have tangible access to in your community. But, if you can't get to a party that you are affiliated with to look at how they are endorsing candidates, who is the newspaper that you read every single week or get your breaking news alerts from? They do candidate forums and they do endorsements and they let you know who they're recommending for the community. There are also community forums that are happening in our community, but I also like to tell folks, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
If I can't point to evidence of actions, even prior to you becoming a candidate, I've never been a candidate for office, but I can guarantee you folks can point to my work and say there's evidence that she has been on the front lines for this community, fighting for issues that I probably have no idea about. And if a candidate you can't point to directly to say that they've done something that is positively impacting my life, then that is also sort of evidence of what I can and cannot support.
And that goes beyond party affiliation.
Yes, it can.
That's Democrat, Republican, Independent. What are you doing for the community? And check their record out.
That's exactly it.
Wow. I'm hearing that familiar tune. And we got to bring you back.
Okay.
We got to bring you back because it's like you just have so much to impact, so much to offer, so much knowledge to give to the community. It's very important for us to be an informed community. Tell us about your event that's happening.
Okay, so February 25th is the Raise Your Glass Promotions 10th Annual Unity Black History Month celebration.
10th annual.
So
wow.
Over the last 10 years, we featured over 75 of our ladder builders, our top African American executives, CEOs, civic leaders like Mayor Demings, Congresswoman Demings, Superintendent Jenkins has come on the program and shared their stories of resiliency, of perseverance, strategies for success. We're grateful that we have two sponsors, Derek Lewis and Sean Avery Brown from PepsiCo and from Ford, that support what we do. They're HBCU graduates.
Amazing.
That are just constantly making sure that we are promoting Black excellence so that our multi-generational crew can understand the impact that we're having. So we're going to be at the Orlando Museum of Art. We have Azimma coming in from California to play the violin for us. She's a classically trained violinist. We have a local group, the Alvin Giles Trio, that's going to be playing our reception. Oli's Catering, local Black small business, is doing the food.
You're making me hungry now.
We are also, most importantly, we're going to raise money for 3 different nonprofits. 100 Black Men of Greater Orlando, Bethune-Cookman University hospitality students, and the W. Daniel Mills Apprenticeship Program at the Orlando Shakes. Those are in honor of 3 ladder builders.
Wow.
Ron Rogers, Bob Billingsley, and Daniel Mills, who was taken from us way too soon.
Definitely.
But we're going to raise money for those foundations because we have to continue to promote what our community organizations are doing. And we have to be that bridge builder.
So where can
between
someone
the generations.
Get that information online?
So you can go onto our website, raiseyourglassorlando.com/BHM2023. So that's raiseyourglassorlando.com/Black History Month 2023, BHM 2023. And we're selling tickets on Eventbrite.
Yes.
So it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a celebration. Get dressed up, come out with your partner, and let's have some fun.
I like that.
Let's celebrate our community.
I think I'm going to be there. Wow.
We even have Sean Welcome, who is our poet laureate for the city of Orlando, who has written a special poem to commemorate the 10 years of what we've been doing.
He's incredibly talented.
He's incredibly talented, and I've heard a piece of it, and it's powerful. So I'm excited. It's going to be really great.
Too.
And I just need to throw out one other thing. The Greatest Investment Girls Empowerment Program, I'm a founding board member for them. They're doing an event next Monday called You Are Worthy. Again, we have to reach back to our youth, and we're going to have Jasmine come and talk to them about the minute you turn 18, you need to vote.
That's it.
Wow.
So support tgicamp.org. We are looking for female mentors. You can go onto our website.
Okay, all right. Well, you've heard it first. It's been an awesome show. We had a party up in here, Glenn. Thanks for holding it down. Community Matters is sponsored by the Law Offices of Sean R.H. Smith, where a will is not a way to avoid probate, but we educate to avoid probate. Also, our excellent, fabulous, fantastic host, Gigi. She's been in the house. She brought it down. We're going to have her again, and so it won't be too long next time.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Dan.
Yes. So you guys take care out there, and we'll see you next time on Community Matters. Brought to you by the Law Offices of Sean R.H. Smith.
Our practice focuses on elder law, where we specialize in wills, trusts, probates, and estates. Our offices are conveniently located in downtown Orlando, off of Kirkland Road as well, and we even have an office in the city of Apopka.